Hi everyone, it is already now day 12 of Ruth's awesome advent calendar, and the question is, what is behind the door on day 12? Well, the letter and the word for today, interestingly enough, is T for temptations. Now, why do I find that really interesting? Well, actually today, a year ago, I had a notification on Facebook of a picture I'd taken, which was basically a tub of ice cream and two bowls. One was a very big bowl and the other was a very tiny bowl. And the reason it's significant is because my husband and I last year, when I was really low and eating the wrong foods, used to eat ice cream all the time. It was a kind of comfort food. It was a real temptation for me to have that very unhealthy ice cream, and one of the reason why we had those different bowls is because we always wanted more, and it was really difficult to not dip in for more ice cream in the evening. So the question for today is, what are the temptations for you that are really putting you off track with regards to your well-being? Perhaps it's something that you're eating, or perhaps it's an activity that you're doing that's really not serving you well, whether it's an activity you do that compromises your sleep, or, as I said, it's food that really, or drink as well, such as alcohol and really sugary drinks that are really not serving you well for the long term. Maybe great as a quick fix, and there's this nice buzz that you get from having it, but actually in the long term it's really detrimental to your health and well-being. What are those temptations for you? Now, if you've written them all down, just take the time to write those all down. Once you've written them down, rate how important it is for you to remove those temptations from your life. So rate each temptation out of 1 to 10, where 1, it's not really that important for you from a long-term health perspective, and 10 is it's critical that you get rid of those temptations. What are your ratings out of a scale of 1 to 10 against each of them temptations that you've written down? And once you've had a chance to do that, ask yourself the question, what step or steps can you take going forward for the temptations that are critical for you to break, to avoid, to overcome? What step or steps are critical for you to take in the next year so that you can overcome those temptations? Now, I know for me and the ice cream saga, it was crucial that we basically stopped buying the stuff that we really liked, so we no longer have ice cream in the house, and that's the simplest way from my perspective, from a food standpoint, to avoid those temptations. Just don't go and buy the food that is not going to serve you well over the long term, or find a replacement food that is better for you. So what can you do? What steps can you take over the next year to really get rid of those temptations, to really overcome them, to take back control of your health and well-being, to really help yourself over the long term? So today, the letter and the word is T for temptation. The first question is, what temptations are there in your life that aren't serving you well from a well-being perspective? Secondly, how important is it to you that you get rid of those temptations in your life out of a scale of 1 to 10? And finally, what step or steps can you take in the next year to really quash, to really overcome, to really take back control and get rid of those temptations in your life? I hope you enjoyed today's session of Ruth's awesome advent calendar, and I really look forward to tomorrow of day 13 of Ruth's awesome advent calendar.